If you're interested in when the world is going to end, today's lesson is just for you. You know, Jesus had a lot to say about what I like to call end times details. He also left a lot unsaid. And for the past 2,000 years, people have been trying to figure out every last detail about all the last details. Knowing the context of Scripture is vitally important when you're reading a passage like this. And today we need to start with a timeline of the New Testament. In fact, let's start with Christmas, when Jesus was born. Did you know we're not completely sure which year Jesus was born? In the year 525, the calendar most of us follow today was recalculated to correspond to the year Jesus was born. According to the plan, that first year should have been 525 years after the birth of Jesus. Logically, Jesus would have been born in the year 0. But scholars all agree that the monk assigned the task of resetting the calendar got the birth year wrong. And besides that, he went from 1 BC to 1 AD, completely skipping the 0 year. So he's missing a year. But give him some grace. After all, he didn't have the internet. Luke tells us that Jesus began his ministry at the age of 30. We also know that Jesus was crucified either in the year 30 or 33 AD. I wish we had more certainty about these dates, but we don't. So we'll have to be satisfied with not knowing all the things we would like to know. But there is a key date we are confident about, and it has everything to do with today's reading. The temple in Jerusalem was destroyed by the Romans in AD 70. The entire city was destroyed. That's roughly 40 years after Jesus had told his disciples the day was coming when the great buildings, especially the temple and all of Jerusalem, was coming down. Not one stone will be left on another, Jesus had said. Every one of them will be thrown down. You know, if you've read the entire New Testament, this 13th chapter of Mark's Gospel sounds like some of the chapters in the book of Revelation. A time is coming, Jesus said, when there would be wars, rumors of wars, famines, earthquakes, false messiahs, and the persecution of believers. That first generation of disciples saw a lot of those details play out in their lifetimes. There were indeed rumors of war. And in Judea, in what we call Israel, a massive war started in AD 66 when Jewish zealots revolted against Rome. By the time of the Passover holiday in the spring of the year 70, some 4 years later, Jerusalem was surrounded. In late August of that year, Jerusalem was finally overtaken and destroyed. This day of destruction was an event so traumatic, it's still observed each year as a day of mourning on the Jewish calendar. If you visit Jerusalem today, you can still see signs of that destruction. For one example, archaeologists have excavated a first-century street along the western wall of the Temple Mount. There they found unmistakable signs of the destruction that had come in AD 70. As Jesus had promised, the stones had been upended and tossed to the ground far below the Temple Mount surface. If you have a chance to visit Rome, you can also see an engraving of soldiers carrying loot from the temple, including a priceless menorah from the temple on the Arch of Titus. Titus was the Roman general who set siege to Jerusalem and destroyed it. There are also some ancient homes near the Temple Mount that still show signs of the great fire that tore through the city in AD 70. It's all evidence of the total destruction of Jerusalem. Imagine how news of the coming war must have affected the disciples as they heard Jesus speak of the city's destruction before it happened. They were looking at Herod's brand new temple in Temple Mount. Such a destruction must have seemed impossible to them. How in the world could it be? You know, all of this history and all of the details about end times events can be overwhelming. Don't be surprised if it's confusing. It might take years before you grasp the historical context of the New Testament. And I want to promise you something. You will never figure out all the details about the future. It simply can't be done. So pay attention to how Jesus summarized his teaching. Look for his takeaway. This is what Jesus wanted all of his followers to know, including you. Jesus said, "But about the day or hour, no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Be on guard. Be alert. I hope you've already read the entire passage. If not, make sure you do. And as you read it, pay attention to what Jesus repeatedly told his disciples. Keep watch. Be ready. Work hard until that moment. Then Jesus simplified things with an illustration, the way he loved to do. He told them, any of you can watch a fig tree and figure out when the harvest is near. Any of you can tell when the figs are nearly ready. And that's true. You don't need a degree in botany to understand when the figs are ready. And you don't have to be an expert in theology to know that we may be near the end times events mentioned in the Bible, near the harvest. We're certainly closer than we've ever been. The signs for Jesus' returns have been in place for several decades now, and those signs are still there, and Jesus is definitely coming back. If the future is represented by a fig tree, the figs are ripe. They're nearly ready to fall off the tree on their own. Here's the simple truth. Whether you see the return of Jesus with your own eyes or whether your life comes to a natural end, all of us are running out of time. Each of us will face end times events one way or the other. This is no reason to despair. Instead, keep molding your life to look like Jesus. Keep growing in your discipleship. Live your life to the max. Make every day count. Fulfill your God-given purpose until the last possible moment.